Yeah, I'm doing this live because I did say I would obviously give you an update on Ronnie. Ronnie's no longer with us. Ronnie was put to sleep. It was either Monday early evening or Tuesday morning. I don't want to go into the ins and outs of it, but basically, the dog unit was not going to return him to me. Don't know why it took them 4 weeks to, if that was going to be the outcome all along, then I don't know why it took them 4 weeks. But I had 17 years with his mum and 12 and a half years, 12 and a half amazing years with Ronnie. And, he's with his mum now. At the very least, he's at peace. Nothing. He's not going to feel scared anymore. He's not going to be, and at the very best, which I like to believe, he's with his mum. And yeah, so obviously it's took me a couple of days to be able to like compose myself because it's crying is not no good. It's not going to bring him back. We're going to get loads of pictures of him and Missy. And I don't want to fit, although the timing is very weird as to when it happened. But if it was done deliberately, I'd give them the ammo to do it. Ronnie got out, so that was on me. And yeah, but it's been a bit of a weird couple of days because I've thrown his bed out now and I've took the stuff off the window. You remember the butterfly shit that's on my windows? Well, that's all off now. And it's just like basically adjusting because he was a 24-hour job, my boy. 24-hour job. But it's done now. And all I can do is move on, which brings me to Brian's last video that he put up. And I know that most people who have like subscribed to Brian as well, so I take it that most people have seen his video. And I just want to wade in with that interview with John Wedger. Now, even though like I didn't see John or get to, but you kind of get a measure of someone, yeah. And one thing I can tell you now, John will not have confrontation, right? John will not have confrontation. But that's not just enough to thingy. But when the questions he was asking him were ridiculous. Like, if I can tell you now, if I confronted John, there'd be different questions being asked. Yeah, different questions being asked, right? And I know that if Brian's exactly the same. And what I'm really struggling with is if this guy done an interview with John Wedger, why didn't he knock on Brian's door? Why not knock on Brian's door? And going back to John Wedger again, because he does get a little bit lost sometimes, where there's bigger shit than him to defy him. But every now and then something comes up, like now, right? And it's just ridiculous because this guy obviously knew John and had interaction with John and Bill Maloney. And standing outside Brian's house, that is just ridiculous. What it is, they're running scared, right? Brian knows why they're running scared. I don't know if he said it publicly, so I'm not. But things are going okay for Brian at the moment, and you just want to fucking fuck it up. Well, for me, not going to lie, as an outsider looking in, I'm seeing people that are desperate. Desperate. Right? Absolutely desperate. Because what that guy did on a passive aggressive, right? That's what you call passive. right, saying that he's going to jump in Brian's bin, right? Now, okay, you laugh at that, but in the next breath, he's talking about he went jail on a kidnapping charge with a, like, I can't remember, with a weapon or something, and it was a member of the army, right? So basically, you're really trying to subliminally tell Brian that someone's going to jump out of his bin and kidnap him, right? And I just want to say this as clearly as what I can, yeah? If anything was to happen to Brian, right, I'm telling you now, there's no getting, like, there is, I will not shut up, yeah? And I know that a lot of other, he's got a lot of fans that are thinking, but they're trying to bring this out the woodwork again, yeah? And that's what I'm saying, the timing of my dog, I understand why they took Ronnie. I do understand why they took Ronnie. But there's no case to answer. There was no, but the timing of it is a bit nuts. But it's not going to break me. It's not going to, do I look like I'm breaking down? I had 12 and a half years with him, 12 and a half, and he was a fucker from the day he was born till the day he died. He was a fucker. But he was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dog. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting off track again. But no, all this shit with Brian, it's just so ridiculous. But on a real, right, and and I've said this from day one, right, when John come to meet my friend Sarah on Clapham Common and me, right, he turned up with a bottle of brandy, right? Now, if I'd not been so awestruck and starstruck like a fucking idiot, I would have clocked that. Why are you bringing alcohol to talk to a victim of abuse? And he bought the little paper cup things as well. It was little plastic, like little plastic cups. And then Brian said as well, when he come and picked Brian up and took him, I think, down to Bill Miller, when they went down to interview Andrew Ash, he again turned up with alcohol. But what is worse is at that time, right, he was an active police officer, allegedly. It's because there is no proof that John was in the police force. There's no proof at all. And when I tell you now, when you everything just breaks down. And let's face it, like his friend, he was best friends with Wilfred Wong, the child abductor. Yeah, the child abductor, right? So that's what members of the jury did. Whether he's in jail or not is irrelevant to me, but he basically abducted a child. And you're friends with Bill Maloney. That doesn't make sense, and that doesn't add up. But the one question that I would love to ask John: are you still doing the food drops with Camilla Batman Jelly? Because that man was doing food drops with Camilla Batman Jelly. Yeah, there's no if, buts or maybes about it. And Lou Dickens will have to back me up on this shit because she can't fucking lie. Yeah, she knows. Yeah, so because Camilla Batman Jelly had reached out to, had been talking to the John Wedger Foundation even before I fell out with John. So she was dealing with Lou Dickens at that time, because Lou Dickens was like the, whatever it was, I don't even know, right? So there is no denying that, yeah? Also, he got one of the victims, who he ended up sleeping with, by the way, a bit of her artwork placed in the Hampstead Gallery, down to Camilla Batman Jelly. But I believe John has a bigger part to play, right? I totally believe that John could be, right? Now, you've heard of these child auctions, right? I'm telling you now, they happen because we'd heard about them for years in Soho, for years and years and years. Yeah, not once, not twice. It was about a child auction, and it was near a airport and it was near docks. And the one gallery that really sticks out like a beacon is the Whitechapel Gallery. Not only does one of the Rothschilds, and I think it's Eva Rothschild, I think she runs an art class there, you know. And in 2019, they hosted it was something celebrating women, and Marina Abramovich performed there, and the art that she used was gifted to her by no other than Tony Podesta. So to say this Whitechapel Gallery sticks out like a fucking sore thumb because it's near Stansted Airport and it's City Airport, and it's also near the docks. So I believe John has knowledge of child trafficking ring. I believe that they've just become a machine. Yeah, and John, at the very least, very least, will be a lookout, because the rooftop that they took Brian Harvey on, yeah, no, it was one night a few years ago, yeah, they took him on a rooftop and it was in Whitechapel. I don't know how John gets all these keys for these rooftops. Yeah, but I know that John Wedger is not a good man. If he was a good man, I'd still be doing my shit with him. Yeah, he's not a good man, and not only is he not a good man, he's the worst sort of person. He's a wolf. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what he is. He is an actual wolf in sheep's clothing. And bearing in mind that he was responsible for procuring Brian and procuring me. Yeah, like that's taking the fucking piss. And both times you're turning up with alcohol. Right, and not only that, he boxed the alcohol off. He boxed it off and then drove me home. Like it's yeah, and it is, but that's neither here or there. That's it. But it's just not the behaviour of an ex-police officer. It's the behaviour of someone who thinks that they can do what the fuck they want and get away with it. Yeah, the amount of money that got, like that John Wedger Foundation, I don't know, but there was so much money going through that, and it's just ridiculous, and it is personal for me. Yeah, because not only to be quite honest with you, I can understand the Soho podcast. Get that, I get that. Because I'm credible in Soho, everyone knows me in Soho, so if I'm walking around with him, it's just adding credibility to his bullshit. Yeah, but even from then, he was trying to kind of set me up, putting his arm around my shoulders, calling me oh, my old mate Nicky Cooper. Old mate, I'd only met you fucking once on Clapham Common, mate. But obviously I'm not seeing that at the time. I was just like, oh fuck, like shit. I'm kind of doing something that I feel strongly. I couldn't believe my fucking luck. Yeah, I couldn't believe my luck. But like I said, over the following weeks, I think there was 5-2 with a bruise, but it was every 2 weeks for a couple of weeks. It went, so it was over. But other than that, I had no interaction with John, but I used to talk to him a lot on the phone. And I'm pretty astute when it comes to people. And if my eyes had been open then, there would have been a lot of flags, lot of flags. Yeah, but he's not a good person. He's really not a good person. Not only is he not a good person, he you. I mean, I don't even know if any of the victims were victims. I don't know. I think some of them might be, but the more prominent ones, like Jeanette Archer, definitely not. I'm not saying that she wasn't. I'm not saying that she wasn't touched. I don't know about that, but I know that she didn't have no red dot poker stuck up her, and her story is so full of holes. But she's another one who's gone on to fleece the public, and it bugs me. It bugs me because with her personally knew her, yeah, personally knew her. So it's because I feel like they tried to make a mug out of me. I mean, let's face it, John Wedger put me on his lives with me with a John Wedger mug, drinking out my John Wedger mug. Like, are you fucking dumb? Yeah, thinking that I'm some idiot that he can use, like, and then just kick me to the curb when he felt like it, and I wasn't gonna come back. Like, you're crazy. You're crazy. And yeah, but like I said, I believe that John Widger's part in the whole scenario is a lot bigger than what we give him credit to, because he's a very forgettable person as well. That's another thing. He's very forgettable. Very, very, very forgettable. But, you know, the worst thing he ever did was come for Brian and come for me, because what he did was took our good intentions and tried to turn them into something fucking just like him, just like him. So you know, you don't sleep with victims, yeah, let alone pass them between you and your fucking friend Mark Watts. And that's what was happening. I can't even remember her fucking name now, but she was the little Frau one. What was her name? I can't remember what her name was, but I remember in my garden he told me that she was staying at his house, and I'm looking at him like Barbara O'Hare had just done some podcast on John Wedger saying like this is exactly what he does, and I'm still not seeing it, and I'm saying to him, what the fuck are you playing at? Like, what are you doing? And and I'm saying to him, this ain't just about you anymore, John. Yeah? How the fuck are you having that little victim girl when you're with how many, there was 5 males in there at the time. And, you know, it's like I said, there was, but they was fleeting things, and then they went, but I'm telling you now, that man is not a good man. I can't speak saying that I met Bill Maloney, right? But Brian did, and Brian is very, 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 very astute, very switched on, right? And, you know, there is no, that Bill Maloney did try to set him up. Now, like I said, Brian ain't nobody. He had good intentions, yeah? And nah. And what you're doing to Brian at the moment, like, if that's the fucking best you've got, that I tell you what, that is behaviour from someone desperate. Desperate. I don't know what they do. I don't know what the thing of bringing John Wedger back up. I don't understand it. Yeah, I don't understand it, but I do know something's going on. Something's going on, and it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, and I think it's something to do with this Alex Belfield case as well, because that was stalking, and what that geezer was doing, he weren't doing it online. What that geezer was doing was actual stalking, yeah, actual stalking, right? So yeah, I don't know what the connection is, yeah, but the thing is like I said, things are going okay for Brian at the moment, right? and it's like they're just trying to make him paranoid. But that ship sailed years ago, mate. Yeah, that ship sailed. That ship sailed. That's not going to happen. Brian sees what you're doing. It's just ridiculous. It is just ridiculous. And whoever did that, shame on you, you dickhead. Yeah, because the bottom line is, how you confronting John Wedger, but yet you're not knocking on Brian's door. Yeah, it's just, you know, Brian's called him out on everything. What he was, you can see exactly what he was trying to do. But you know what though, mate? Running up and down Walthamstow, filming. Yeah, you want to mind one of them little crackheads? Don't take off your phone, mate. They'll take your phone. They'll take your phone. Yeah, about your fucking camping up Walthamstow. Like what the fuck? And I don't even know what this guy's achieved. Like, you know, screaming out about Prince Andrew. Like, it's not going to work. Yeah, it's not going to work. But like I said, the timing of my dog, it's either very coincidental. But like I said, I gave them all the ammo they needed to do that. But you know, I'm just a bit sad. Obviously, like it's a big loss for me. 2 dogs in literally 10 weeks. Dogs that I've had for my Missy, I had her for 17 years, and my Ronnie for 12 and a half years. So you know, yeah. But anyway, I just thought I'd update you, and I just, you know, I just wanted to do a one just to talk about what's going on with what's going on with everything, really. But all right, as ever, thanks for listening, people, and I'll speak to you another